Here's something to remember. You never own anything on this planet. You are only a steward. Whether you are Bill Gates or whether you are sleeping under the bridge, whatever you claim you own is only stewardship. That's why you can't take anything with you when you die. Bill Gates, my beloved friend, will be buried in a casket. It may be an expensive one, but he'll take not a cent with him, because nothing is ours. And that's why submitting to a king is key. He can give you and distribute his resources to anyone he wants, and he can do it without your permission. And that's the power of kingship.
That's funny.
The king, he owns everything in his kingdom. It's a very unique thing about a king. He owns everything. That's why a king can give you anything he wants in his kingdom. One time, you remember, Herod was a local king over his territory. And he asked a teenage girl, he says, "Can you dance for me?" And he said, "If you dance for me, I will give you anything, even up to half of my kingdom." Could you imagine a king saying that to a teenager? He had the power to do it. Notice he says, "My kingdom." In other words, my territory, I can give anything in that, even half of it, to a teenager. That's why when you are under Jesus Christ, if you treat him like a president, you start bargaining with him. If you treat him like a king, you stop worrying. Because he can give you anything he wants. It's his prerogative. That's why he says, "Do not worry what you will eat, what you will drink. I own all the crops, I own all the animals, I own the cattle on 1,000 hills. And if you trust and submit to my kingship, I can give you property." Here's something to remember. If President Bush or Prime Minister Perry Christie in the Bahamas, if these leaders were to give you 5,000 acres as a personal gift, do you know what they call that in your democracy? Corruption. If a president give a personal gift of 5,000 acres to you, that's corruption. In a kingdom, it is called favor. Because the king owns the 5,000 acres plus everything else. So that's why God can actually give you anything in his kingdom, and it's called personal favor. That's why the favor of a king is very important. He has the prerogative and the authority and the right to give anything he wants to anybody. So it's a different concept altogether. Jesus said one time, he said, "Go to the other town. You're going to meet a man with a donkey and a coat. Tell the man to give you both the donkey and the coat." And Peter said, "But Master, it's a stranger. What if he asks who sends for it?" He said, "If the man asks you who sends for it, tell him the Lord." The word Lord means owner. Adon, Adonai, owner. Yes? That's why every king is automatically a Lord. Because the word Lord means owner.